When we look at the current economic landscape of Malaysia, we have to ask ourselves, is our growth benefiting everyone, or are we leaving a significant portion of our society behind? Today, I want to walk you through three critical issues that are currently defining our socio-economic challenges. First, we will look at graduate unemployment, specifically why our bright young minds are facing a mismatch between their degrees and industry demands. Second, we will discuss justice in finance, exploring the Prime Minister's call to move Islamic finance beyond just awaiting interest toward true fairness and risk sharing. And thirdly, we will tackle the concentration of wealth, examining how the gap between the rich and the poor is deepening not just in terms of monthly income, but in long-term asset ownership. Next, we will go through the first issue.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Afina Batisha and my matrix number is 294431, and I will present the issue of graduate unemployment in Malaysia. Graduate unemployment refers to jobless graduates who are actively seeking work but unable to obtain suitable jobs. In terms of number, Malaysia recorded 5.98 million graduates in 2024. Yet, the unemployment rate among them stood at 3.2%. There are many key factors contribute to this issue. First, there is a mismatch between graduate qualification and industry needs. Many students pursue oversupply sector while new sector lack talent. Second, overqualification makes graduates accept jobs that do not match their skills. Employers also favor applicants with strong soft skill or experience, which disadvantage fresh graduates who lack internship opportunities. The effects of unemployment are huge. From an economic perspective, it results in wasted talent and reduced labor productivity. Graduates may also face psychological stress, disappointment, and even consider migrating for better opportunities. Financially, jobless graduates struggle with student loan repayment, leading to long-term stress and insecurity. Finally, Islamic economics offer meaningful solutions. With productive zakat, funds can be channeled into entrepreneurship and skill training for graduates. Islamic banks can also support young entrepreneurs with mudarabah and interest-free microfinancing, giving them access to capital without heavy debt burdens. This approach helps create jobs and promote fairness in the economy. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day. Today I will briefly explain exploitation and injustice in Islamic finance. Exploitation occurs when a financial product is labeled Islamic, but one party is still treated unfairly. Islamic finance is not just about removing riba. Its real purpose, according to Maqasid Sharia, is to ensure justice, transparency, and shared risk. So when a contract shifts more cost or risk to customers, it becomes exploitative even if it is technically Sharia compliant. In Malaysia, the Islamic financial sector is very large. Malay Mail reported that Islamic instruments now make up 62% of our 4.2 trillion capital market, and Islamic banking asset also range from 1.45 trillion to 1.58 trillion according to Invest Malaysia and NST. However, big numbers do not guarantee fairness. Some products still place heavier risk on borrowers, especially small businesses and low-income groups. There are a few reasons for this. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has warned that without strong governance and integrity, Islamic finance can fall into unfair practices even without riba. Secondly, many banks avoid risk-sharing contracts like mudarabah and musyarakah. Studies from the Islamic Financial Services Board and IIUM show that banks see this contract as costly and risky, so they prefer debt-based products that shift risk to customers. Finally, the Securities Commission is trying to strengthen ethical understanding. In 2025, they introduced the 40 Hadith series and created a Maqasid task force to promote fairness, inclusion, and transparency in Islamic finance. In conclusion, while Malaysia's Islamic finance is large and growing, true justice requires more than compliance. It requires ethics, integrity, and real risk sharing so that Islamic finance fulfills its spirit, not just its forms.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to my honorable lecturer Dr. Zairi. Today I will explain the effects, examples and solutions related to exploitation and injustice in Islamic finance. Islamic finance is founded on justice and preventing harm. But when issues like riba practices or unfair contracts occur, its ethical purpose is weakened. One major effect is distorted wealth distribution. Instead of promoting fairness, unjust practices concentrate wealth among powerful institutions, which goes against the maqasid of Sharia that aim for balance and equitable distribution. Another important effect is the loss of trust. People choose Islamic financial institution expecting transparency and fairness. But when hidden fees or contracts that resemble interest appear, customers feel misled. Research by ISRA shows that violations of fairness reduce confidence and may even push people back to conventional banking. In Malaysia, we have clear examples such as the 1MDB scandal and the Tabung Haji mismanagement case. Misuse of national funds in 1MDB and the manipulation of financial records in Tabung Haji show how corruption and weak governance can harm society and put the public saving at risk. To overcome these issues, stronger Sharia governance is crucial. Independent Sharia boards, regular audits, and strict oversight help ensure contracts truly follow Islamic principles. Transparency is also vital. Clear disclosure of fees, risk, and profit sharing terms are required by AAOIFI, helps prevent exploitation and protects customers. In conclusion, fairness, honesty, and accountability are essential to preserve the integrity of Islamic finance. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syami bin Mushi. My metric number is 303854. Okay, now I will cover section wealth inequality. Okay, we must distinguish income from wealth. Islam forbids the hoarding of asset and instead mandat tadawul. Okay, the circulation of wealth to prevent it from circulating only among the rich. The goal is to avoid extreme gap between the elite and the poor. Okay, now we go to reality and factor. Okay, in Malaysia, this gap is widening. The T20 group control 46.3% of household income, while the B40 hold only 16.1%. Okay, this is driven by three factors. The first one is wage stagnation. Employed are not getting a fair share of profit. And the second one is riba-based debt. The poor pay interest to the rich. And the last one is inflation, which hurt the lower income group the most. Okay. Now we go to section effect and example. Okay. The result is intergenerational poverty, where the poor have no asset to pass down. Okay, we see this in the EPF crisis. Over 90% of Malaysia under 30 do not have enough saving to meet the retirement threshold. Okay. This forced the government to implement policy like the T15 subsidy cuts to stop subsidizing the wealth. Now we go to the solutions section. Okay, Islamic economic offer three constraint solution. Okay, the first one is zakat. To redistribute, accumulate wealth, not just income. And wakaf, encourage endowment for public benefit. And the last one is ujrah, paying a fair market wage so worker can actually save. Okay, so in the conclusion, in short, we must dismantle the structure that allow wealth to stagnate and ensure it circulate fairly in the economy.
To wrap up these three issues, get a cohesive story about the barriers to success in Malaysia today. We have graduates who cannot earn enough because of skill mismatch, and we have consumers who face risk shifting rather than risk sharing in the financial sector, and we have families trapped in a cycle where they cannot accumulate the assets needed to escape poverty. As we have seen, wealth inequality is stickier than income inequality. It spans generations. Therefore, our solution cannot be piecemeal, whether it is upscaling our workforce for the AI revolution, enforcing competition in banking, or leveling the playing field for education. The goal remains the same, dismantling the structural barriers that keep the poor and building an economy that works for the many, not just the few. That's all for today. Thanks for listening to us.